For English otherwise, welcome to Breaking Down the News. As you know, I get up, I pour myself a cup of coffee, then I highlight the headlines, and then we jump in here and pick them apart so that way you can continue to expand your vocabulary, better express yourself, and impress others as a result. And so, without further ado, good morning, mushrooms, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers, sisters, mothers, misters, and around the world, all my cousins. It's time to plug in and get this train a chugging. So there's a lot of beautiful language here. A lot of it is recycled, that repackaged and repurposed and sometimes put together into a tasty little burrito of headlines. And look at this ugly monster. I'm gonna pick his nose. Wages, Twitter wars. And you might know this word wages, however, most likely as a noun. Wages are basically the hourly pay that workers get. If you get paid monthly, that's a salary. If you get paid wages, that's usually hourly. However, here it's being used as a verb. Almost always we wage war on something. Governments try to wage war on poverty, or they wage war on their enemies. It means to start and continue the act of war, basically. However, here it's a Twitter war, and so it's just a war of words and angry rants. Ooh, recycled vocabulary. And so he's ranting on Twitter as a grim, we've had it before, ding, very serious and sad, maybe even scary, often related to death. Oh, and look at that, the death toll. And that's, remember, the toll is the sound of a bell. Yes, bells ring, but it's also the toll of the bell. And when people die, the church bell rings, and that's where this phrase comes from. And to loom is often something big and scary kind of hanging over you. You could say that there are storm clouds looming on the horizon. Or right now, we have slipped into economic recession with depression looming. And so it's big, it's bad, it's scary, and it's coming our direction. Uh-oh! Yeah, so he's busy waging Twitter wars as the death toll, a grim death toll looms. What toll? 100,000 deaths. That is a landmark. Now, physically, a landmark is often like a mountain, or like, for example, when I was living in Prague, you could never really be lost. You might get turned around or disoriented, but you were never lost because there are always landmarks. You could see the castle, or there was the river, or Zhizkov Tower, or some other big famous building which would allow you to orient yourself. And so landmarks can allow you to orient yourself, or it lets you know how far you have gone. And so a similar term would be a milestone. Much like the Romans did, it comes from the Romans, they put stones every mile so they knew how far they had traveled and would need to travel to get to the next city. The landmark, the 100,000 death landmark, and what kind of landmark is it? It's a stark landmark, or a bleak landmark. And it's something that is sad and depressing. Due to the technical difficulties, a lot of the examples that I had come up with in my head seem to be slipping out of my mind. Reminder, a very serious reminder, something that's bad and it's coming your way, a stark reminder, a stark reality, a stark truth. Meanwhile, Trump pursues or chases and tries to catch his political obsessions. This idea of pursue, it's trying to catch something, trying to get something. If you think about the famous principles of America, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And pursuit is the noun from to pursue. All right, we're gonna take a little pause, coffee break. Moving on. Yes, we had it yesterday and we've had it in the past. People are flocking to the beaches, or they flocked to the beaches like birds. And they all come down and land en masse on the beach. And as a result, there's no social distancing and the virus is spreading. But yeah, some of the pictures of the beach and like Lake of the Ozarks, there was all these pictures of, just people packed in together, just crowded together, no social distancing. And so I feel as though we're going to see a very large spike or skyrocketing amount of cases of coronavirus yet again in the US. Trash is garbage. And so to trash something means to throw it away like garbage, or in this case, it just means a very strong criticism of somebody. And so we've had many, many different terms similar to that, to slam, to rip, and I'm drawing a blank, but to trash one of his greatest allies, one of the people who are on his team, not his enemy, not his rival, but his ally, somebody who he normally works with, burns bridges left and right. CNN reporter debunks Alabama beachgoers' COVID-19 theories. To debunk a theory is to show that it is not true. And so apparently these people have some idea, some theories about the virus, and then the CNN reporter is giving them facts or data or something to show that their ideas are not true and they are just myth or just ideas. There's no evidence to back them up, to support them, no proof. Virgin Orbit rocket experiences an anomaly during launch demo. An anomaly is an irregularity, something that is not normal, not usual, not regular. A pretty stark example is if, say, doctor takes some x-rays of your body and they find something weird, they would call that an anomaly. Something that's not supposed to be there. It's not normal. And so we don't like anomalies in this case. It apparently did not go as planned. Oh well, what can you do sometimes? Trump may be tiptoeing toward a break with Xi. To tiptoe, but to tiptoe, to walk on the tips of your toes like a ballerina. And so, but unlike a ballerina, we don't mean gracefully, we mean like a thief or a ninja, trying to walk softly and quietly, not stomping, rah, 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 making a lot of noise. It implies being careful and silent, maybe doing it a little bit kind of hesitantly. I don't know of any situation where Trump has ever tiptoed. He's more like a bull in a china shop, a bull in a porcelain shop, as we say. Lufthansa clinches a $10 billion bailout. We've had bailout many times. That's just a financial rescue, usually provided by government or IMF for a company, or maybe sometimes a country can even get a bailout, much like in the last recession, Greece was bailed out by, see, it's a phrasal verb, to bail somebody out, and then as often we stick it together into one word and it becomes a noun, similar to how we had setback, a setback. But here, the bailout, they clinched it, and it's to manage to obtain or to get something that you're trying hard to get. And so to clinch victory, to clinch the championship, to clinch the trophy, maybe as a student, you could even say to clinch a passing grade in a class that you were not doing very well in. And coming from baseball as well, they have somebody they call a clinch hitter. Maybe you're in a very difficult situation. The whole game comes down to this one moment. And if that person is the person who often gets the hit and saves your team, that person then becomes known as a clinch hitter. Yeah, to be able to do something and get that success at the crucial, important moment. Very good visual vocabulary. Coronavirus hypocrisy is tarnishing Boris Johnson's government. Tarnish is quite literally, like here, I have a silver spoon. However, the spoon, I don't know if you can see that, it's got some blackness on it, and so it's not all polished and shiny. Because over time, various metals will develop a layer of oxidation on the outside. Iron or steel will develop rust, that typically orangey, but things like brass, copper, silver, etc., as it oxidizes, it gets sort of a black sort of film on it. That is tarnishing. That is tarnish. And that's why then people polish their silver, polish their other metal objects. Then here, figuratively, to tarnish his government, to tarnish someone's reputation. And it means to make it less shiny, less beautiful. And so people could spread rumors to try and tarnish your reputation. if they're trying to undermine you or make you look less good to others or in the public view. Sometimes you see a politician and some dirty secrets from his past leak out. Recycled vocabulary. Some dirty secrets from their past leak out, and then it tarnishes their reputation. It makes them look less good, less shiny, less wonderful. They're saying one thing and doing another thing. They don't look like the ideological role models that they claim to be. And I love this one especially because a donut-shaped galaxy should not exist. Gravity should pull everything to the center, which is why galaxies normally have a round, spherical, or disc sort of shape to them. And so a donut-shaped galaxy could be considered an anomaly, something that is different than what is usually seen. Yeah? Ta-da! I love it when the headlines come together and work together. And I think it was a Simpsons episode. Homer Simpson was talking about donut-shaped space-time or something along those lines. It's amazing how often the Simpsons episodes from 20 years ago seem to sort of come true in one way or another. Are caught up in rising tensions between US and China. And so to become caught up in something, imagine you're trying to catch an animal and you set up a trap, and up in the tree there's a big net like used for catching fish or something. And so when the animal comes in and triggers it, then the net comes down and it's hard to get out of the net and you're all tangled up in it. You are entangled in the net. You are caught up in it. You're involved in a situation that you don't want to be in, and it's very difficult to find your way out. There's no right answer, basically. Last year here in Barcelona, there were some large protests, which also even turned into sort of riots and a lot of violence towards the police, etc. And the entire time there were tourists here just trying to go about their tourism, and they got caught up in the protests, etc. And now I don't want to get caught up in this explanation any further, so we're going to just move on. A tick is a small, round insect which kind of looks like a freckle on your arm, but it sucks your blood, and they often carry diseases. Fashion designer showcases the future of the runway to showcase something. It comes from like a shop. If you think of it, say a jewelry shop, they have all the glass showcases in which items are to be displayed and to be seen, appreciated, and maybe purchased. To showcase something just means to display it in a big fashion, in a big way. Get it? In a big fashion. See what I did there? Little play on words. Sorry, I can't help it. I am an English teacher. To offer a rare glimpse of their private studios. Ooh, the top artists are letting you take a quick, small little look inside their studios. To catch, often we just catch a glimpse of somebody, a quick look, and often and usually not all of something. To catch a glimpse of the secret documents before he closed the folder. It seems what I'm trying to do with myself this morning. Why Britain could really struggle to dig itself out of recession. And a recession is a hole, and if you're in a bad situation, you're in a hole in the ground. And it's a funny term because to dig yourself out of a hole, because if you're digging, you're going down, and it implies to try really hard to do something almost impossible, if not very difficult, almost impossible. Halt! Put your hands in the air. And it just means to stop very abruptly. Ooh, and here's some good ones. Up above we had allies. Allies are your partners, the people that you work with who are on your side, on your team. You're working together. Rivals are people that you compete against. You can have friendly rivals. You can have bitter rivals. Not quite enemy, but it's somebody that you're competing against. Or here he's adopting tactics. And tactics are, and so he's adopting taking somebody else's actions and strategic actions and adopting them as his own. He's using their own playbook against them. Had playbook in past episodes. And especially here when we say their signature tactics, your signature, literally from like signing a contract, signing a paper, signatures are meant to be unique to a person. Yeah? And so your signature is unique to you. And so if it's something that you always do, that is maybe your signature action or signature something. My signature start to the show is the good morning mushrooms. These actions that are very specific to his rivals, now he is using and taking them on as his own to adopt an idea, to adopt a habit, to adopt, well, and children, animals, etc. That has been breaking down the news for today. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you at 8 a.m. tomorrow, if not sooner. Much love, be well, and may the sun shine on you. Bye-bye.